That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. It's game day. It's game day. I'm excited for now. I can't help it. You guys, welcome in, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope you're having your coffee or whatever else strong you might need to anticipate what might be coming your way today. I don't know, folks. It just feels kind of weird in Notre Dame land. It's just kind of weird is the vibe. I just feel like we're not that used to being in this position at this point in the year, and it's taking its toll on the excitement that should be Notre Dame game days. Quite frankly, that's what I feel. So thank you for being here, everybody in the chats. I see a lot of regulars, Jaded Clay, Andrew Gilmore. Beautiful. Some of you guys have some really good thoughts already in the chat that we're going to get to. V1, rotate, V2, always here. Appreciate that very much. Man, Mike Sloan, look at this. Been up since 4:30, greens mowed and striped, ready for the game. So, Mike, we got ourselves a golf course worker. I got to tell you this, Mike. I worked 10 summers in the pro shop at a country club. And that morning mowing crew, that's a different set of guys. That's a different mindset. Those guys that are out there at like 3, 4 in the morning out there before the sun comes up, mowing those greens. I love it and I respect it. It's hard work. And I know a lot of guys that did it for a long time. I'm intimately familiar with that grind of being to the golf course before the sun comes up. So, Mike, thanks for getting those greens mowed. Thanks for being here today. Obviously on YouTube, if you guys are here, you obviously know. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. It really helps me out. Give the video a thumbs up if you approve of the content. That helps as well. Twitter, I'm sure if you're on there, you know how to find me. Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishindy at gmail.com. Got ahead of myself. Audio only. Anywhere you want me, you could get me. Except for on the 2-hour radio shows, I have not found a free program that lets me dub those over into MP3. And I'm a cheapskate, so I'm not willing to pay it just to do that. So until I find a program that can translate the full YouTube video call-in show into MP3 so it could be audio only, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. But for now, I can't get videos that long dubbed over. Okay. So here's where I want to start today. First off, the phone lines are open. 312-900-8815. I know Saturday mornings are busy for people. You got stuff you got to do with the kids, errands to run, go do your obligations before the Notre Dame game, that type of thing. Anybody, if you're on the run, give me a call while you're running your errands. If you happen to be a Notre Dame fan at the game, especially in a away game, I'm super interested in that. Give me a call. If somebody's in North Carolina and sees this, give me a call. I want to know how it feels. I want to know that vibe on the ground at their place. Let me know. Let's look at a couple of these chats here. We got a couple phone calls here. 386 is going to be first. Line up after that, folks. Notre Dame 2164. Thanks for being here. Anyone else to the point with the linebackers where you're ready to put the young, talented guys in and just say react and be aggressive? It's really interesting that you bring that up. I put out an article yesterday with the USA Today Fighting Irish Wire. By the way, there will be an official announcement coming soon, but I did agree to a contract with USA Today for Always Irish. I will be a contributor in print on their online version of the USA Today Irish Wire, the Notre Dame wing. I will be writing articles. That's a change up. It's different than me yelling. I relish the opportunity to write about Notre Dame and diversify my content and make people think and see and feel Notre Dame a different way through print. It's one thing doing the emotional thing where you see it and I react. It's a totally different mindset in print. I am really, really excited to get more into that and make you think about Notre Dame a different way, an analytical one, not an emotional one. I'm excited about that challenge. So there will be more information about that coming out. What's it going to involve? There's a lot of exciting stuff coming, you guys. A lot of exciting stuff coming. USA Today has been the outlet I wanted to work with most. I like the reputable name USA Today. And also my managing editor, I trust 100%, who would be my direct boss. Trust 100%. Professionally and personally, that is a huge deal to me. I'm excited to get working with them. I will put an official announcement out probably early next week in a regular video. So if you're getting it twice, I apologize. I'm not trying to be that way, but I do need people to know where they can find more of my work now. So there is an article up. First one got posted last night. I did it as a draft and submitted it for USA Today editors to review to see if I got the formatting right. Next thing you know, I got a message. Looks good to me. It's going live, and it was live. So we're off and running already. I didn't think it'd be that quick, or I would have got ahead of it with an announcement, but it's terrific that it's out. So USA Today, Irish Wire, look it up. The article I posted last night, 3 confidences, 3 concerns for this ball game. So that's the deal with that. And I will start including links to the articles I write in my YouTube videos that correlate to them and on Twitter as well. More content, folks. Different content. That's my goal. I want to diversify what I can get you information-wise, okay? I'm excited to write. I think there's a lot of people that think all I can do is yell, and I'm supremely excited to sit there and type up an article that makes them think. I love that. So thank you, everybody in the chat, for that. I really appreciate it. This is the one thing I love more than anything else. And I've put everything into it, and it's good to see that that work's paying off and that people are noticing. So thank you to everybody. Oh, boy. All right. Here's the deal with this linebackers thing. It's on my list. The article, USA Today, John's first article he wrote, boom! Notre Dame 2164 nailed one of the items on the list. One of my concerns listed, 386-309. First 2 phone calls up after I get a couple chats. Hang in there. Still got phone lines open. Jump in. I want your predictions, and I want to know, are you worried about recruiting or not? These linebackers, here's the deal, folks. I wrote in my article, this group was supposed to be a plus group. And going into the season, we had outlined them as being a plus group with some upper class guys, some guys coming back, Maris coming back, and we figured this group would be able to maintain the middle of that defense. And then we thought the defensive front would be good by default. And then you didn't know exactly what you're going to get on the back end. Here we are. And surprisingly, the back end of the defense is holding in there and looks like they're on the upswing. Last week, the defensive line got some havoc plays and penetration and some of the stuff we've been begging for them to do. They didn't do the first couple weeks. But the linebackers are still struggling. They're still struggling. All right? They don't get off blocks. They get washed out of every play. They just get ridden and washed out of every play. They're not shedding blocks. When they blitz, it looks like, I know there's delayed blitzes on purpose. They look like they're delayed on accident. We don't get there on time. The perimeter's been a nightmare all year. You let a statue in concrete boots get the edge on you last week. You did. Plummer's slow as the Statue of Liberty running through that harbor, and you let him get the edge on you. The angles are bad. The tackling hasn't been great. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Here's what the coaching staffs say, and it drives me nuts. A lot of times coaching staff will say, you will ask, Why can't Prince Collie get out there? Or like, what's the deal, you know? And then the coaches will be like, well, you know, there's traits, Kelly, traits, and you got to be consistent in practice. And we need to know that you know exactly what you're doing all the time before we could trust you out there. And you got to prove that consistency in practice before I could put you in the game in an important position. I hear that all the time. But the problem is, if the guys you are starting that are supposed to be your best guys are failing, and then you're scared to go to the guys behind it because they're even worse than that, but the first string guys aren't playing good football, you're all messed up. You're all messed up then. When your best guys that you do think know where to be and what to do and do all the right things at practice aren't making any plays. They're not making plays. And then you don't have anybody to try to even see if it's better, then you got problems all around. I'm sorry, you do. Then you got problems all over. Development, recruiting, like something doesn't add up when that's your dynamic and you can't play anybody. The starters aren't getting it done and the backups, you don't even think, then it's all bad then. It's all bad then. I hated when this fan base let Kelly get away with always answering a question about why another guy can't get a chance. Well, they're not ready yet. Physically, they got to build into it. They have more to learn, more this and that. Then my next question is, why are you not recruiting guys that come in more ready to play, where that process, that time between high school and getting the field is shortened because you're recruiting a higher level of athlete? It's not an excuse to say the other guys aren't ready. It means you're not doing a good enough job in recruiting and development. It's not an excuse that absolves the staff of the staffing issues on the field. So it always drives me nuts. You're telling me a guy like Prince Collie can't get a couple series and just see if he reacts and you have a spark there? Give me a break. It isn't that serious. Like, no one we have playing in the linebacking group right now is that good that you can't take them off the field and try something a couple times. If you're not getting production, and we're not, it is on my list of concerns. I need to see that group start to play better. Defend the perimeter. Wrap up. Time up a blitz right. I'm not asking for too much. Roy, boy, good to see you in here. They never shadow the quarterback on third downs. Yeah, that's why they just run all over us, even the slow ones. Even the slow ones. Ooh, look at this. Mike Sloan, can we just see a Tyree run one back for 90 yards, please? You guys, how desperate is Notre Dame for a big splash play today? I mean it. How desperate is Notre Dame for a big splash play? Tyree, break one on a run. I don't care what it is. Tyree, spin out of a tackle and run 60 yards for a touchdown. We just need to see that action. I'm about that action, boss. We need to see it. We need to see it. And, you know, I got a feeling that Eric, thanks a lot for the donate $1.99 donation here. I really appreciate that. Keeps the show going, pays for the phone line, folks. This stuff ain't free. So every dollar that comes in here goes to keep your phones up. This might be wild, and I know this isn't practically how football works, but a part of me feels like if we broke a couple big plays this week, big touchdown, 60-yard gash play, 70-yard run, something, I feel like that stuff is a little bit contagious, not generally speaking, but when your offense is the way Notre Dame is this year, that seeing somebody run 60 yards for us seems like it's out of reality. I just feel like it would lighten everything up a little bit. Have a big play there. Make everybody know you can do that here, you know, break one for 60 yards. Like, you could gain some momentum there. I would just give me a big splash play today. Flip the field in one play. Like, you need to do all you could do to help this young quarterback. So somebody get the ball in space and then make a move. Okay? Make a move. Flip the field. Jeez. Roy, boy. You might be onto something. John's Irish, but he moves his hands like he's Italian. Well, I got a mom too, and she's Italian as can be. So got the red hair and the John Kennedy thing from dad. Mom's the Italian side. The old mom's the side where when she was growing up, Uncle Al Capone and his buddies used to call in the middle of the night and say, "We need a place to cool out for the night. We're going to be there in the South Side soon. How many beds you have for me and my guys?" That's how Italian mom's side is. She still has the jewelry from Uncle Al's, let's just say, collection in the basement of one of those houses in Chicago. And they used to just let the little kids go in there and pick the jewelry you want. Where it came from, I don't know. But that's mom's Italian side. Old Uncle Al. $4.99 from the Chief. The Chief. Love it. The more I think about it, the more I think we just need to move on from Reese. I want all the success for him, but it's the common denominator at quarterback. Chief, number one is I appreciate the $4.99. It means the world to me. Thank you very much. Here's the deal with that. Yes, Chief, you're absolutely right. If we end up in a position where this quarterback room isn't developing, we get towards the end of the year, and then we're looking at where we're at, really, really tough discussions have to be asked. Really tough discussions have to be had. Tough questions have to be asked. And sometimes coaches aren't even doing things bad or awful, and you still end up where the best thing for the program is to get new eyes on everything. Does that make sense? Like sometimes a guy's not even awful, but if he's a holdover from the other staff and that's a little sticky or a little weird to navigate, sometimes it's just better for everybody to have a clean slate and to get clean eyes on the offense and just kind of start over. Now, I understand these recruits like Tommy Reese. The recruits' families like Tommy Reese. CJ Carr's family likes Tommy Reese. That's something you have to navigate as well. And that is something in the equation that you have to consider when you're thinking about making any of these larger scale decisions. This is life as a first-time head coach, Marcus. Tommy's your boy. You were flying around recruiting together. He's your road dog. He's your Notre Dame graduate on the staff, younger, that knows how things go. All of that. I love all that. But you know what I love more? Good offense. That's what I like more than Tommy's Notre Dame history and all that. I like winning offensive football a lot more than I like Tommy's origin story from Notre Dame. I like winning football games. I like scoring points once in a while. So if this doesn't, I don't care if it's with Pine the rest of the year. If this doesn't trend up and look a lot better and put together, tough questions need to be asked. I'm sorry. But especially when you are that lasting link between the last regime and the new regime, and your specific area of the program's holding it back, quarterback play and offense, it's fair to ask any and all of these freaking questions. I want results. I don't care that you went here. I don't care that you ran from the cops and you're Tommy, our guy. I need points. Points. All right? Not memes that I make YouTube shorts off of you getting mad. I need points, and I need yards, and I need creativity, and I need an offense that looks like it's from Earth. Wasn't expecting to get that worked up at 9:20, but Tommy will do it. So, Chief, thanks a lot for getting my blood pressure up. It's a good way for me to make sure I'm alive. I appreciate you very much. Jacob Saylor with the $10. Man, that goes a long way. Thank you, Jacob. Linebackers are doing too much, but it starts with bad offense. The defensive front had pressure to save today, but they don't play loose. I don't know if they could get great, but they're too stressed out about saving the day. Thoughts? Here's the deal with linebacker play, Jacob. I'm glad you bring this up. I've always felt this about linebackers specifically, and safeties too, free safety especially. The best linebackers I could think of have this innate ability to feel and sense and know where they need to be and where a play is going to be and where they need to be or where they need to get their guys to be. The best linebackers I can think of, whether it's Notre Dame or Troy Polamalu or anybody else, the best ones I could think of, they weren't analyzing, they were reacting. They had just this natural gift of knowing where to be and just this natural linebacker gift that's so beautiful and rare to just know where to be, right? Like even a guy like Drew Tranquil had that eventually, just knowing where to be. And if you overthink at linebacker, you're dead because that's the one step that you lost. That's the one wrong move. It's the 1 second delay that made your blitz not work. Like linebacking's a lot about, knowing where you have to be, but just reacting. And so take a little bit of pressure off those guys and just let them more read and react and go hit people. That's what they want to do, not think, but hit people. But the best linebackers I can remember had a natural gift that you can't teach to be around the ball, know where to be, and know how to get their guys where they need to be. Okay. Beautiful super chat, though. Appreciate that. Josh Miller, $5. So depressing watching other programs have success with young talent. We can't get a goddamn QB that can throw 40 yards. I don't know if that's your accent, but it's just how it came off when I read it. Can't get a goddamn QB throw 40 yards. And if he could, can anybody catch it? I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you right now. Phone lines next. I'm telling you. We are so stuck in Notre Dame land, okay? We're not in a conference, so it's not as big of a deal to us what happens with these other teams and all that all the time. That ain't our deal. We're in this little Notre Dame circle, and it's just like Notre Dame land, Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Notre Dame. Great. Look around. When you look around, teams that have 10% of the roster talent as Notre Dame have better offenses. They move the ball. They throw it. It doesn't look like it's brain surgery to get it first down. They just throw the ball, crossing patterns, fly patterns, posts, outs, crossers over the middle. They can run the ball. They can mix it up. Guys are open. Guys are catching the ball. The quarterback's leading them in their stride, and they catch it, and then they run. We don't do any of it, and I want to know why. We don't do any of it, and I want to know why. Our offense looks like pulling teeth to get a first down, and I need to know why. I want to know why. I do. Now, I'm open to the idea that talent at wide receivers an issue and depth. Totally open to that. Ran about it every week. I'm open to the idea that Notre Dame is on their backup quarterback and they're going to be limited. Obviously, I understand that these two areas of the program have depth and development and retention issues, okay? Quarterback and wide receiver. They also happen to be two of the areas where you're not winning anything that matters if you're not great at. Not good. You need to be above average. You need to be really great in these areas to win playoff games now. They're the two areas where we're the furthest behind. It's unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. Well, get rid of the guy who's in charge of it then. Well, half the equation's in a swamp and the other half's in a booth in South Bend, throwing out curse words. That's all. I'm sorry. Oh, you can't put it all on Tommy. Tommy's the one who handpicked these quarterbacks, and not one of them's close to elite or even ready to play at a high level. Tommy Reese, these are his guys. Tommy Reese handpicked all these quarterbacks. He wanted them. Get some production. Get some production. All right? So I'm sorry, but Freeman has Al Golden as the defensive old head, stabilizing force, bounce ideas off of defensively. Who does Tommy have offensively? That's becoming an issue, you guys. It's in my head now. The head guy's a defensive guy. Harry isn't what Al Golden is to the defense, where you go in there and have a drink and talk about life and what you're going to do. That ain't Harry's deal. That ain't Harry's specialty. So who does Reese have on the offensive side of the ball to either go to for advice or to have an open door policy where that guy can go to him and go, what the hell are we doing? This ain't working. We need to pivot now. Who does Tommy have for that? The other guys on the staff are newer, haven't been around as long. Like, Tommy's it, and that worries me. Who's in his ear? Because the main guy is a defensive guy. Who's Tommy going to, or who's going to Tommy to figure this out? Even with the wide receiver and quarterback depth and development issues, even with it, this offense should still be way, way ahead of where it is. So that's where I have Craig. Good to see you in here. Good morning, man. You guys, this is beyond frustrating. Yeah, Ronnie Paulus IV. Maybe he'll win all the Heismans. Bino Cook said his dad would win. Anybody remember that? Anybody even remember Bino Cook? Or am I that old, pushing 40, that I'm the only one who remembers Bino? I love Bino. I know some of you younger people are going, who in the hell is Bino? If you're an old head, you'll know why I'm saying that, and you'll love him. Oh, man. I've seen Cutcliffe bring him in as a quarterback coach, and then is that going to affect Tommy's control and leverage? Are we going to have to play that game? Rodney, thanks for being here, buddy. Thanks for being here. Hey, John, did you hear about the 1-year probation the LSU was hit with? Yeah, I heard about it. I mean, I don't think we could blame Brian Kelly for that one. And I can't make fun of Brian Kelly right now like I used to. Look where we're at. I'm not in a position to be making fun of anybody's team. I'm still going to, but I'm not in a position to. Some of you guys remember. You must be older. I'm almost 38 in a few weeks. Yeah, I liked listening to Bino as a kid talk about Notre Dame and college football. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We have a few spots open, folks. 312-900-8815. 386. You're in the mix.
What's going on, John? How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well. Good morning. How do you feel today? I'm excited, man. Notre Dame football plays today, and I'm excited for that now. I don't know if I'll say that in 6 hours, but right now I am. Where are you at today? How are you feeling? I'm excited now.
Yep. I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling good.
You're feeling great. Whoa. You're feeling great, like physically, or you're feeling great about the game? Those are two different things, man.
I'm feeling great physically.
Okay. Well, then that's good. That's more important.
I'm a little nervous. Yeah. A little nervous for the game. You've already brought up a lot of great points, in the things you've been saying already. But I just wanted to get out of the way. I just wanted to say congratulations to you. And if you guys are listening and you guys aren't following or subscribed to Always Irish or John, give him a follow, because the passion this guy brings to the Notre Dame culture is like no other. So I just wanted to give you a shout out off the rip.
Thank you. But, thanks a lot. That means a lot.
Yeah, man.
And you know what else too, man? None of this happens at all without all of you guys. Like it ain't about me. It's about us. And none of this would happen without people engaging. So thanks to everybody for being here and being involved. Thanks for the kind words.
For sure, of course, it's a family here. Whether it's ups or downs, we're all going to stay together, and we're all going to, battle through what we're going through as a fan base. And there's a lot, man. Like again, there's a lot of dynamics that you brought up, and on the game specifically today, you know, we have to see improvement everywhere. Like, that's what it comes down to. Defense, offense. We can rely on our special teams. Whoop-de fucking do. Pardon my French, but, you know, we got to get this ball rolling here. We got to get this ball rolling.
Do you feel like, well, here's what I see. If you were going to try and get it rolling, especially offensively, which is my main priority, because that's where I think we're the most behind where we need to be right now. I think this week is a good week to try and do it. Yeah, you're on the road, but they have not stopped anybody through the ground or the air. If you were ever going to have a get right week and go into the bye, this is it, right?
This is it. 100%.
They haven't stopped anybody, passing or throwing. They haven't stopped anybody. Nobody.
60 points to Appalachian State. Come on.
Yeah.
But again, like what you're referring to, what we should see is the speed and screens that were effective in the past couple games when we did call those plays. Where are those play calls? Where are the sweeps to Braden Lindsey to get the offense going? Where's the screenplay to Tyree more often? Where is that stuff? And I wanted to bring up too, when you were talking about Drew Pine and what we need to see him do. Last year we saw him be put into some positions like the Wisconsin game. He came in and threw a perfect little slant route to Kevin Austin to score the game. He came in to Cincinnati and threw a 45-yard bomb to Braden Lindsey because they had press coverage on him. Wow, they called a play and threw a deep shot and we scored. Where are those play calls? Can we not do that today?
Yeah, it's there's a couple things I need to see today to feel like we're at least trending in the right direction offensively, even though I know it's still not going to be what any of us want. One is I need you to run the ball for a lot. Okay, these guys are giving up 300 yards a week to nobody, teams with no offensive line talent like Notre Dame. I need you to run the ball for a lot of yards today. And off of that, not only do I want to see those short passes to guys in space like Tyree, like you're mentioning, I need to see an effort to get more mid-range passing going because you're not going to be able to rely on those short passes within 2 yards the rest of the year as an offense. So maybe this is a week we start seeing some more mid-range efforts. I would like to see a couple deep shots, even if you don't hit them, just so North Carolina has to think about it and they can't creep them safeties up in a 20-yard box all day.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to let Pine, because like you just said, you have to try to build into these bigger games that we have coming in the future. It's not like this is the last game of the season. Now we have to prove ourselves. No, we still have, 8 games of football that we have to try to go out and win. So, like you said, this week is a great week to get your offense in a position to start doing that in these future games. Like, you have to start today. That's what it comes down to.
It really is that simple. And the other reason I think this is really important is because of the timing. I think that if you're able to find a way to win today, no matter what it looks like, and then limp into the bye with a couple wins, man, at least that gives you a little bit of a better feeling when you have 2 weeks now to sit and evaluate who you are and what you are and try and get better. It would be a big deal to stabilize things and get yourself a couple wins. And then you have breathing room. Everybody can kind of sigh and just kind of take a deep breath, look where we're at, take an extra week to realize our circumstances are not ideal, and then further develop that offense in a way that works for Pine and works for what we have. If you could get there winning this week on a little streak, it would help the whole operation. If it goes bad, you're going to have a long half a month. That is going to be a death march of a bye week. It is going to be really ugly, and I am not here for it. I'm not here for it. I can't be.
No, absolutely not, man. Because, again, like, my blood pressure was low before the show. You started the show, and then, man, I heard you talk for 5 minutes, and you got me going, man.
I don't want to be responsible for other people's blood pressure problems. I already got my own. I don't need all these problems. I don't want to be blamed.
Not blaming you. It's it's out of our love though, is where we get it, man. It's our passion and love is why we get this way. But,
Yep.
man,
It's not a choice.
so
It's
right.
not a choice, man. It's just who we are as people. It's just who we are, and I love it. As much as it makes me miserable, takes years off my life and hairline, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I'm a nervous, excited today. I have confidence because here's another thing I've been thinking about too, John. Personally, I think the past couple of years we tend to play better on the road. Is that what you think, or how do you see that?
All right, man, I'm telling you, the last couple days, every caller I have had has been bringing up really good points. Here's what I think about that. In a very weird way, I almost like the fact that we're on the road, not in a crazy environment, not Penn State at night, not Wisconsin at night, not LSU. Like, no, not the big house, but an afternoon game in Chapel Hill. I don't mind it. I actually think it might be a little easier for Pine and everybody to get going without that home crowd sitting there waiting for something bad to happen. Like, you can feel the vibe. I'm sorry. I was in South Bend for Cal. You could feel the vibe was we're uncomfortable and we're expecting bad to happen was the feeling of the whole thing. Now you're getting out of that. Get out of that where everybody doesn't have you under a Notre Dame microscope in that stadium. I actually don't mind that. I would hate it if it was Michigan at night, but Chapel Hill during the day shouldn't overwhelm you if you're Drew Pine. It shouldn't. However, Cal at home did. Cal at home did to start the game. So then again, there's that. I don't mind it this week. I don't mind it this week. I wanted it to be last week because of the nightmare of Marshall, and I knew it'd be awkward for Cal. I would have liked that one to be on the road, but I don't mind it today. Go change the scenery. Go cook out there.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking for sure. Because like when you just refer to our home games, it seems like obviously you were there and you felt the vibe. It was like a home crowd pressure when we are on offense, and then obviously when we're on defense, we get loud. So like the dynamic.
Yeah, no, the energy all day was one of, we're here. It's a beautiful day. We like being here, but we're nervous of what's going to happen. Like that was the energy. It wasn't like we can't wait for this game to start because Notre Dame's like going to excite us. It was everybody going, oh man, I better drink this last Miller Lite and get in there and hope it isn't too, the vibe was weird. So get out of town, run the ball for about 7 minutes a quarter, mash them down, keep their offense off the field, keep their crowd quiet, control the run game, win the ball game. Very simple roadmap to me, man.
Yep, and that's what we got to look for. I think the second half of last week's game, our offensive line, it seemed like they started to click a little better. So, if they can bring that and start it off with that type of mentality in the first quarter, start running the ball, man. And hopefully, like you guys were talking about earlier, the linebackers can tackle better today, fill their gaps a little better. Get the QB down when they do blitz. And man, I'm excited. I'll let you get on to another caller, but yeah, man.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. And it's a really good point. Those linebackers are important today. As much as this offense moves and runs around, as much as they have going on, you're going to need them to be active and be involved and to be physical and to be on point. This is the week I need them to step up. And if not, I don't care. Give me Collie.
Yep.
Oh, give me that dog. Give me Collie. I don't care. Give me somebody that wants to hit somebody. What are these linebackers?
Exactly.
The linebackers receive the ball carrier. They don't go hit him. Give me that dog. Let him try. Oh, let's go. I need to see something.
Unleash the dogs.
Give me something. I need it.
Unleash the dogs, man, for sure. I just want one more question before I do, Bill. Obviously, the linebackers are important, but do we think the wide receivers are the biggest key for our offense today? Like, we need them to catch the damn ball.
Well, My answer to that would depend on who we're playing. Since we're playing a team that can't stop anything, I think it's more important the offensive line plays great today, because then you may be able to run them down without putting it on Pine and be able to win that way. But if we were playing somebody else with a great run stuffing defense, then I'd say this is the week we need to pass to win. So if it was a different matchup, I would feel that pressure more intensely. This week, you should be able to do what you want up front and run it and win and eat the clock. I don't know.
Yeah, every possession we should be able to score. No doubt about it. There's no doubt. Every time we have the ball, we should get points. That's how it needs to happen.
They're going to score some points. This young quarterback's good. He has a lot of confidence. They're going to put up some points. Notre Dame needs to have a real offense this week, and I feel like I'm asking for a lot. I do. It feels like I'm asking for something I don't deserve. I'm just asking for a real life adult big boy offense.
Tommy,
Harry, you can't this week, Harry. You can't. This team gives up 9,000 yards to everybody. Harry, it can't be this week. You need to be road grading this week. It can't be. I'm going to lose it. It can't be.
Yeah, it's got to go our way today, man. I'm fired up. Like I am every week. I'm just that kind of a fan. I don't care.
Is your dog fired up too? Is your dog fired up too? It's because he heard my collie call. That's what. He heard it. He heard it.
She probably did. But yeah, man. I mean, I've said it before. We can go 0-12, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be as diehard of a fan as I'll ever be. So
that's the thing, man.
I am. That's how my mindset will always be.
Yep.
I can always just pray and hope that we play good football at the end of the day.
Beautiful. Hey, man, thanks for the call and the kind words. I really, really appreciate it, man. Enjoy the ball game. Enjoy all the football today, and call again.
Yes, sir. Have a great day, John. I'll talk to you guys soon. Go Irish. And I'll say it again. You guys got to subscribe to Always Irish for sure.
I appreciate that. Have a good day. Good weekend, man. Thanks for the call. Man, we got nice people that call this show. Let's see. Joe Long, 309, you're up next. 623, you're after that. Joe Long, this is easily the best Irish pod vlog going. Yesterday I had exceptional callers. This is the smartest fan base show for Irish football. I got to tell you this. Joe, I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I first came up with the idea, I was looking at a way to diversify and offer this fan base content no one else in the Notre Dame space had. I knew I wasn't the X's and O's show. I'm not a former player. I don't have that kind of credibility. So I knew I needed an angle. How can I reach this fan base in a way no one else is going to do to stand out in this lane? I came up with the radio idea. And I didn't know the technical aspects of how to make it all connect to YouTube and streaming and the mixer and the phone line. I didn't know all that at all. But I knew that giving you guys a voice would be something good to do that people would appreciate. My fear was, you know how things go on the internet. And I was worried that I would open these phone lines up with pure intentions of having real Notre Dame and college football conversations, and that I would get trolls or people calling and being inappropriate or being jerks or whatever. That has not happened. I am telling you, the people that call this show literally have bullet points. They've thought out what they want to talk about. They have really deep thoughts, and everybody just loves Notre Dame. That's what this is all about. These people that wake up and they just start thinking Notre Dame. I love it. I love it. The callers have been absolutely exceptional for the whole month I've been doing these shows. Everybody's been dead serious and had really good points. I love it. 309. Let's wine and dine. Good morning.
What's up, John? It's Ben from the Two Irish Brothers. How you doing?
What's up, Ben? How are you doing today? What's going on in the greater Bloomington Normal area on this wonderful Saturday?
Dealing with storms here. We had a nice big storm roll in beginning of the week, so a lot of cleanup around
wow.
town. I lost my entire fence.
Still?
My entire fence.
See, we missed.
I'm doing.
We
today.
missed a lot of that, man. A lot like up north, a couple hours. Like we missed them. Some of those storms broke up. We didn't get that much from them, but I knew it was bad that one couple nights ago.
Yeah, one of the local high schools here, they got their roof ripped off. So yeah, it wasn't a fun time at the beginning of the week here.
Wow,
that's for sure.
Yeah, that's not great. So what's on your mind today, man? How are you entering this game in your mind? What do you want to see? What are you concerned about? What are you looking for today?
I think today is go out and have fun. You're going against, like you said, a defense that can't stop anything. And I think there's way more pressure on North Carolina to win this game than there is Notre Dame. Everybody's talking about this young stud quarterback that North Carolina has. He's approaching 1,000 yards and all that, and then we're limping in. There's way more pressure on North Carolina. This is go out, hit him in the mouth, get the offense rolling, and come out with a victory.
Yeah. Can I bring up an angle on this that may make me look stupid in about 7 or 8 hours or look like a genius, but I'm going to throw it out here like I've never been shy with my opinions. I see a very risky double-edged sword with their young quarterback and all the confidence he has right now. I can see that working for him or against him in this game big time. What I mean by for him is it's kind of like golf. Sometimes these young guys that are playing in majors and winning them, it's such a big deal. They're so young, they don't even realize what a big deal it is yet. And they just play and react. And the pressure doesn't hit them because they don't quite realize what the pressure is supposed to be yet and the weight of the moment. I can see him flying in here being like, Notre Dame, they ain't nothing. I've been doing good for 3 weeks. I'm at home, wheeling and dealing, making all these all-star plays. I could see that. However, I could also see him getting cocky. He's used to Georgia Southern or FAMU's defense or whatever, and getting loose with some throws or having more time he thinks he has than he really has because our defense is better in what they played. And we end up knocking him down a couple notches because of that confidence. Does this make sense? Like with a young guy, I can see his supreme confidence working for him or against him. And which it is depends on what we do.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm in your corner with that one because that's something.
Does that make sense with a young guy? With a young guy like that?
Yeah. I mean, I think I think his numbers are slightly inflated because you played the 73rd defense in, Appalachian State, and then you played the 106th defense with Georgia State, and then you played Florida A&M that's an FCS team. Okay, I mean, you're expected to do those kinds of things that he has done. What you're not expected to do is you're not expected to throw for 500 yards on a team like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So is it that he's really that good or he has been made to look that good? I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly he can throw it.
Yeah.
Clearly he can do what he needs to do.
Listen, man, I'm not trying to not give him credit. He has had an incredibly great starting run, and I love the way that offense is set up. It's exciting, and I love that, and he's going to be really, really good. I just like to think Notre Dame's defense should be able to take advantage of a guy this young. I just do. I think they should be up for that task and not get shredded and let this be the next guy nobody's heard of yet that ends up showing up Notre Dame. I'm sick of those guys.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think the defense, I think their defense is going to make Notre Dame look amazing today. I think Notre Dame's going to take full advantage of the fact that they let Appalachian State score 59 points on
Ben?
them. I hope.
Can we? Like that's
maybe I'm being optimistic.
Right.
I'm being optimistic.
That's the problem, man. I'm looking at all the numbers they gave up through the ground and the air against those three teams, And I'm going, even this version of the Notre Dame offense should be able to move the ball all day and pile up a ton of yardage. And if you can't this week, man, this bye may as well be a funeral. I mean, I can't have it. I can't have it. You got to get this offense feeling better this week. You have to find a way.
Yeah, I agree. And I wanted to hit on recruiting but with that, and I think the whole recruiting aspect, I think, is being a little blown out of proportion.
Okay. And now, hey, you guys got a show. You know how people are. They're not reacting to this well, and they're afraid it's the tip of the iceberg. Tell me where you're at. How are you thinking about it?
Here's what I think, okay? Coming into this season, we had a culture shift, okay? We have Marcus Freeman taking over after Brian Kelly left this program, okay? And a lot of times when you have a coaching change, you see guys decommit. That happens all the time. You know, we see Jimbo Fisher leave and he goes with A&M, and we see, you know, Lincoln Riley goes to Southern Cal, and then guys are decommitting from Oklahoma and stuff. We didn't really see a lot of that. And I feel like we got this sense of purpose, and we got this amazing vibe because all of a sudden Freeman is getting in these dudes that we never could get. And Freeman was getting in these guys with no track record. He had nothing. He couldn't go to these guys and be like, well, I've won a national title. And, you know, I turned around a program. He's never done any of that.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden we have this, you know, tumultuous beginning to the season, and people all of a sudden lose that really, really crazy, awesome vibe that we had coming from Freeman. And then all of a sudden one big name dude decommits, and then one dude's making up his mind on somebody else, and then it's all of a sudden the sky is falling.
Yeah.
Is the sky falling? I don't think it's falling. I think there's more than just winning and losing that comes into programs when it comes to commits. Okay. And yeah, we lost a big name dude, and he's most likely going to go to Southern Cal. But is it because that we're losing, or is it because he was all of a sudden talking to Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley goes, you know what, if you come in day one, we'll start you.
Yeah, but see, okay, but Ben,
we may not start you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's, even if we were winning, let's say that we won all 3 games, and that dude decommitted, would people be having the same vibe?
No.
That's my point.
Yeah, no. But that's why, no, they wouldn't have the same vibe, because we'd be undefeated. But that's why I think people look at this and say, those unknown circumstances, like you said, with other guys trying to flirt with people, or the NIL offers come under the table after you commit, you know, all that dance that goes on with these recruits. That's why it's really important that you control the stuff you can control, which is how you play. I was on record all offseason saying the only thing that I love the way Freeman approaches recruiting, and I said all summer, the only thing that's going to kill the way he's recruiting is if we have an unusually bad year. Well, guess what? You lost to Marshall, and you're on track for that worry. It's all about momentum, and right with recruiting. Summer pointing up, and then it leveled off, and then now it's kind of going down. We have a couple losses. People start feeling bad about it. I get it. You got to stabilize this thing, though, because all the smooth talking Freeman does can't smooth talk around a 5-7 record. You can't. So you got to get this right. You got to level things out.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But I think these dudes and Notre Dame, recruiting wise, are in a fine place.
Let me ask you this.
Currently,
do you think Tommy Reese is on the hot seat? Do you think he just got dropped in a bad circumstance with, you know, the injury at your starting quarterback, and he needs some time to work it out with the new wide receiver recruits coming in? Are you ready for him to go to the NFL and get new eyes on this? Where are you at as far as the offensive operation and Mr. Reese?
I think Tommy Reese is on the hot seat, and if he's not, he should be. Both of us on my show think that. You know, everybody goes, oh, you know, I've seen people go, well, he needs time or what. Okay, we had all last season. What did we do last season?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and you can't tell me that him, chewing out pine in that viral video that everybody's seen, you can't tell me that wasn't because he's getting Freeman and Swarbrick and everybody else probably breathing down his neck saying, okay, things need to change or you're gone.
I think he's feeling that in a weird way, man.
I mean,
it made me feel good to see that because it made me feel like he's as frustrated as we are. And he knows that this is not good enough too. And he just finally couldn't take it anymore. For somebody with my personality, I like seeing that because I'm like, okay, at least I know this guy's mad too. The problem is he's supposed to be the guy to fix it.
Right.
There's nothing I can do.
See, I don't like when people go, oh, well, this is a young quarterback and he's not prepared and all that. It is a situation where if you play at Notre Dame, you should always be ready to go, period. End of story. Like, football's a violent game. One play can end a dude's career in football. So the fact that people are saying, oh, well, this guy isn't ready, that's crap, in my opinion, total crap. And I think Reese has to realize that. And if he doesn't, then he needs to go. I'm sorry. We can't be that incompetent in offense.
All right. Now let me ask you this, though. In this calculation you're going through of what the right or wrong move is, how do you account for the recruits loving Tommy Reese and their relationship with him? Are you worried that if you did this and said, Tommy, go ahead to the NFL, we need new eyes on this, are you worried of what that does with CJ Carr or these other offensive recruit relationships? Or is this all bigger than that to where you might need to eat some of that to get where you need to go? That's another dynamic here, especially with the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit bigger than that. I hope that it is bigger than that. But I don't know. That's a very good point. And unless you're talking to these recruits.
But now you can't be held hostage by it either, though. I want to be clear. You can't be held hostage by that dynamic if you really think a change is needed. Man, I need more development out of these quarterbacks, though. Like I do. Yeah. I know bad circumstance, COVID, an injury to Buckner, senior year of high school. Like I know that things happen beyond all of our control. But this offense is way behind where it needs to be. It's nowhere. You can't even see where this offense should be from where we're at. And I just didn't think we'd be at this spot. They're very far behind.
Yeah. And the best silver lining I can give you is the fact that since it's Freeman and he doesn't have a legit connection to Notre Dame, I think the loyalty aspect, and I hate loyalty in sports. I hate it because you're a White Sox fan. You get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know where this is headed. Don't do it to me. I can't handle the Notre Dame and the White Sox stress.
So anyway, my point is with Freeman and Reese, since Freeman's not from the university, he doesn't care that Reese played at Notre Dame and has that connection and stuff. I think if push came to shove, he would get rid of him if he needed to.
Yeah. And you know what else, man? That is one of the tougher parts of navigating being a first-time head coach, because you have to have some of those tough conversations with people you like and love personally. But at the end of the day, you got to win and you got to move the ball and you need an offense. Listen, Marcus, you wanted this job and you got it, and you got a lot on your plate to navigate right away. So it has been a lot to put on him very quickly.
Yeah, I agree. I'll let you go and get to other callers, John.
Beautiful. Can I ask you one more as on the way out?
Yep.
What do you expect from the Notre Dame defense today? We talked about offense. I want to know, do you think this defense finally gets a couple turnovers, disrupts this young kid's timing, or is it a struggle? What do you expect on that end of the ball? We talked a lot about offense.
I expect a defensive ball game, man. I expect them to ball out, and I expect them to fluster this young quarterback because they've been here, they've done this, they know what they're walking into. This quarterback, this is the best team, quote unquote, that he's faced in his entire football career so far. And I think they're
That's
going to
a good
flush
point.
the crap out of him.
That's a good point. It is. And I hope he comes in overconfident, feeling himself, thinking he has more time than he has. I hope all that happens. And those are all the trappings of a young quarterback. On the flip side, he could use that ignorance to his advantage, not know any better, shred Notre Dame at home, and be a hero in Chapel Hill Burns tonight. I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Yep, we will. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Oh, for sure. Well, thanks a lot for the call, man. I appreciate it. And enjoy the football this weekend.
You as well, John. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Thanks for the call. Two Irish brothers, Ben. Check out their program. Andrew Gilmore, $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that. This is very interesting. I got asked this at the Cal tailgate. I got asked this question. And the dynamics have changed from 1 week to the next. But here's the deal. Do you give Angeli a few snaps today? He's an injury away from starting. I understand that. I was asked that about Cal too. Somebody said, if Pine struggles, do you go to Angeli? But the issue was going into Cal, Angeli was running the CJ Stroud scout team, running Ohio State's plays as the third string guy till Buckner got hurt. So going into Cal was really the first week. Angeli was running our plays with our offense. So that was a rough dynamic for Cal. But now he's got another week. I don't know if you go to Angeli unless you need to this week. Or, God willing, Notre Dame was winning by a bunch somehow, by some miracle of earth. But I don't know. I don't know where that learning curve is. Somebody's saying Pine needs to ride the Pine. Listen, Andrew, thanks for the $4.99. I don't know if you give Angeli snaps today unless you absolutely need to. I don't know. But he is only week 2 in running this offense. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh, what did I have? I had something I wanted to say here. Jeez. UNC 123rd in defense. How are they even allowed to play in the ACC? I don't know, folks. I don't know. But my bigger freak out is, what are we going to do against it? Like, I'm having trouble here processing this because I see and I acknowledge how bad they are defensively. But that's almost causing me more anxiety in a way because I'm going, how bad are we if we can't move it against these guys? Seeing, I can see it play out already, and I'm just going to lose it. I'm just going to lose it, okay? Pine was also throwing the ball at the ground. If he throws a 50-50 ball, it's going the other way. I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's like you need to throw the ball to win in college football. Like, I understand Pine's your backup, but even in that dynamic, Notre Dame can't end up in a position where their backup can't throw the football or you don't trust him to or whatever. This is Notre Dame. Why are we acting like this is Central Southern Nowhere University? It's Notre Dame. Why can't we have multiple quarterbacks that can run an offense and look confident? Why? What is going on and or not going on with recruiting or development if that's your dynamic? Something's wrong. Something is wrong, you guys. The whole Notre Dame offense thing is just wrong. Something isn't working, you guys. Something ain't right. Something's not right the way this is all being put together. And I don't know if I could just put that on Kelly and the way he recruited or developed or allowed some of the assistants to recruit and develop, Like, for instance, the issue at wide receiver is a multi-year failure. To end up with the wide receiver room in the position it is today is a multi-year, multi-leveled, nuanced failure on every front. Recruiting, development, and retention. All right? Notre Dame, multi-year. You don't end up in the situation Notre Dame's in that wide receiver room without failing to do things right multiple years in a row. And then they overlap, they intertwine, you get down the road, and you end up with nobody to throw to, no dog leading the pack. No. So something's very, very wrong with the entire offensive operation, how it's being built. And I'm not sure whether Reese is the answer or a part of the problem. And that is one of the biggest questions Marcus Freeman's going to have to ask himself. Is Tommy Reese a part of the solution or the problem to why this offense isn't even real life? The offense isn't even real life, you guys. What we're doing, the way it looks, it offends me. It really does. It is so remedial and so lame the way we run the offense. It's offensive. I mean, you want to laugh at it when you see it on TV and you want to just say, this is Notre Dame. How could this be? How can this be? But it is. So that's the big question the rest of the year. Is Reese a part of the problem or the solution? Or was he a part of the problem, but he's capable of being a part of the solution? I don't know, but I need an answer. I don't know, but I need an answer. Because he's the one, what is the part of the program holding us back most from being elite right now? I would say it's the offense by far, specifically quarterback, wide receiver. Those two groups are nowhere near real life. Nowhere near real life. Tommy Reese is largely in charge of these areas. So I love him. I want him to succeed. He's a Notre Dame guy. I love all that. But I like winning football games more than I like Tommy Reese. Sorry, it ain't personal. But I like winning more than I like Tommy. Figure it out. Figure it out. Back to the phone lines. 360. You're my hero. You're on the line on a Saturday morning.
Hey, John, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself? What's on your mind today?
I just woke up and turned on to your show and thought I'd call in for the first time and give my 2 cents.
I appreciate that. That's a scary way to wake up, though, is to wake up and the first thing you see and hear is me. I feel bad for that, but I'm happy you did it at the same time.
Hey, I don't know. With the recruits and everything, I think too much emphasis, especially right now, too much emphasis is being placed on we need elites. We need elites. Notre Dame is a unique creature in that we're not necessarily going to get elite players. We're going to get 3- and 4-star players that probably aren't on a lot of people's radar, but when they get here, they're developed and they play their hearts out and they love Notre Dame and they want to exceed. I think too much pressure is just put on the idea of, we got to have 5-star players on everything. I mean, if you look at our recruiting record, we don't really get elite running backs. We don't really get super 5-star quarterbacks and superstar. We just don't. They're going other places. I think it's more important that we kind of develop the talent that we have. And I think the problem with this year is the players that we have on the roster right now, they were recruited under Kelly's regime. And the offense and the defense and everything was kind of geared around Kelly's regime. And then when he jumped ship, which is fine by me, all of a sudden they were forced to switch gears. And so everything was set up with Tyler Buckner, and we're going to do it with Tyler. and then he goes down. Well, all of a sudden they keep having to they have to start from scratch. And I think it's going to take time. And like I said yesterday, it's going to be slow. It's going to be ugly. But I think especially for this first year, Notre Dame just has to slow it down and just play for 4 yards in a cloud of dust and just continuously work on that. And we're not going to the playoffs this year, and we're not playing for a national championship. I think that's already been established. So why don't we just play to put the best possible product out there and develop players as we go? And I think that's what's going to happen.
So I think you bring up some really interesting points. Most of them I agree with, and one that I might, but I'm going to ask you a question to kind of push back a little and see where we go here. Number one is that development has always been key for Notre Dame. Whenever Notre Dame's been successful, they've had a group of those guys that are high 3 stars or low 4 stars turn into your good players. And then your guys you already thought were going to be good or good too. That's how you end up being better than you thought with that development. We need to see more of it on the offensive side moving forward. I think everybody can agree with that. That's number one. Number two, I am going to agree with you. There was always going to be somewhat of a learning curve transition from Kelly to Freeman, even though some of the pieces and players remain. We had hoped that transition would be fairly smooth, or the rough patches we would go through would occur during wins and not losses, so they wouldn't hurt as much. Unfortunately, Ohio State lost, people can live with. Marshall, nobody can live with, so that's a little bit of an issue. Right. But here's the big one I got to push back and ask you about. I was under the understanding that a part of Freeman getting this job with no experience as a head coach, I was under the implicit, non-spoken agreement with him that the only reason we're doing this to a guy with no head coaching experience is because he's going to raise the level of recruiting here so much. We think that is worth giving up head coaching experience because we believe his personality is so dynamic. He's going to out-recruit whatever you're losing from that experience other guys might have. To me, that's a big part of Freeman getting the deal without experience is elite recruiting's tied to that. Recruiting better than Kelly ever did was tied to that. That's the biggest reason Freeman got the job, because there is no body of work. He got the job because of his personality and the promise that you're going to get better talent in here to develop. I need that, or I don't want a guy with no experience. Like, I need to have an upside now if I'm having a coach with no experience. I was told that elite recruiting was it, and I need to see that. And that's why people are reacting bad, that we lost Keon Keeley. Now Page is gone. I don't want to bring it up, but one of our guys is at Michigan for a visit this week. Like, it was a part of the deal to me, man. If I'm getting you and you have no experience, you got to give me something to make up for that. Elite recruiting was that. Am I off base?
And well, no. I think that Freeman will get there. This year is a wash. I mean, the players that are on the roster this year, Freeman really, ultimately didn't have a lot to do with the recruiting of it. Not a total hands-on. So this year, we're not playing with Freeman's guys. And so going down the road, I think we will attract more of the elites, and we will at least be in a position where we can compete with those guys. We can compete with the Alabamas and the Clemsons and the Georgias and everything. But I don't know, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that, obviously, if a team is shit and they're not winning and everything, recruits don't want to go there.
It's the chicken or the egg, man. It's the chicken or the egg. You got to win it. You got to win your biggest games to interest the elite recruits. And you need the elite recruits to be in a chance to win your biggest games. And Notre Dame is navigating right in between both right now. I'm glad you brought that up. I've been feeling that exact dynamic, and it's very frustrating. And something has to give on one or the other when you're in this middle range. You either need to start finding a way to win big games you're not supposed to, and everybody opens their eyes to you, or you got to do it the other way and recruit through the Marshall loss to still get elite guys and build it up. The middle is a tough place to live. Marcus Freeman's living right in the middle with one foot on both of those lines right now.
Right. And I mean, honestly, and I know, as a fan of Notre Dame, I know we don't want it, but I think the reality is it's going to be probably a 3-4 year process. I think this year is going to be, it's already a dumpster fire, and it's probably not going to get better, but they're going to build on it, and it's going to be slow. It's going to be methodical, but they're going to win some games this year. They're probably not going to win the big ones that they weren't expected to win or anything like that. But they're going to have building blocks each week that they can start, building on it and progress from. And then next year's going to get better. The year after that's going to be really good. And I think as we start getting Freeman's recruits in there that kind of just add to the mix and everything, the next class of recruits that are coming in, they're probably not going to be super elite until we start having a better product on the field. And I think it's going to be, honestly, I think it's probably going to be at least a 2-year process before we're, back up to where we're playing for the championship and stuff. But I think, honestly, I think that Freeman is the guy that can get us over that hump, whereas Kelly never could. As somebody, I've heard people say it before, Kelly could lead us to water, but he couldn't make us drink. And I think that Freeman is going to be the coach ultimately that is going to lead us to water, and he's going to get us over that bank, and he's going to help us drink from the river. I think we're going to be okay, but I think it's going to be, 2-3 years.
You know what? I'm going to credit you because you have a lot more of a level-headed perspective than a lot of the folks I've talked about, and you seem to have a lot more patience with this process than a lot of people have, and more than I have. So I can respect your patience and looking at that big vision, but I would still ask you, couldn't we still expect it to look a little better this year, even with the struggles we know we have? Like, is it wrong? Come on, man. Like all those struggles,
and this year, it's a dumpster fire.
But like, even with the transition of the coaches overlapping and the issues that causes, and you got to find your new comfort level with everybody and everything. Even in the midst of that transition, which is going to present challenges, I expected better play than this. So I just need a little more, man. I just need more. And I'm open to get it this week. I'm open to get it this afternoon. Put together a really good game and go win a tough road game and on the road, and come home for your bye and feel better about yourself.
Yeah, I think today will be a win. Like I said yesterday in my prediction, I think it's going to be low scoring. I think yesterday on the, I predicted 24-17 or something like that. It's going to be low scoring. I think that Notre Dame is going to play methodical, and I think that we're going to start seeing a better product on the field because Pine has had, several weeks now to be the number one guy, and for the offense to kind of evolve into being his, playing to his strengths and everything. And I think that Notre Dame's going to be slow and methodical. They're going to control the clock and everything to keep North Carolina off the field because obviously they can hang up some points. So, yeah, I think ultimately Notre Dame's going to get the win, and I think it's going to look better today than it did last week, and it will definitely look better than it did against Marshall. But I think we're getting there.
Beautiful. So that's at least progress then. And then you get to the bye, reevaluate where you are, and try and go to Vegas and get a win against BYU. But listen, man, I appreciate your more long range view of this and a little more patience than a lot of people have. I am not known for my patience. It's not a virtue I have much of. And so I respect that you're able to look at it that way. What do you think? Let's finish with this. What do you think of Tommy Reese, the job he's done and what the future might look like for him at Notre Dame? Are you happy with it? Or do you think guys like me are riding him too much for circumstances beyond his control? Where are you at with him?
I think that right now, I think Tommy Reese he's a good enough coordinator. He's a good enough developer, but he's not going to be that guy that's going to be able to develop 3 and 4 star recruits into just, mega stud quarterbacks and stuff. I think we're going to have to go elsewhere. He calls a pretty good game, and he can, he can put together good X's and O's, but I think when it comes down to it, I don't think that he's that guy that, to me, which is, he was handpicked by Kelly to be the coordinator. I think that he fits the mold of Kelly. He's good enough. He will get there. He will win games or, whatever. But when it comes to really putting us over the edge and developing that talent and everything, I don't think that he's the guy. I think that right now, this year, I think that he's good enough to get us over the hump and be there this year. But I think especially after this year, I think they need to look elsewhere.
Yep. Well, those are very fair points, my friend. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Always good to have a first-time caller. Program the number and give me a call again, maybe after the game. Let me know what you think.
Absolutely. And if you didn't know, and if I didn't say it, this is Chris Totten, by the way. So.
Yep, I can see on the.
Listen, and it's always a pleasure to listen to your show.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for calling, Chrissy. I can see on the caller ID here, so I appreciate the call. Enjoy the football today, man. Take care. Call again.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, brother. Go Irish.
Take care. Go Irish. I just feel bad for that guy that he said he woke up and the first thing he heard and saw was me. Woof. Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof. I don't even want to wake up and see and hear me first thing in the morning. I couldn't imagine anybody else is excited about it either, to be honest. V1 Rotate, V2 $9.99 Super Chat. Geez, Rotate. I appreciate your generosity multiple times today. Let's try and snag McNamara. Listen up, folks. You don't think that's being talked about? I see people being like, oh, that guy's not that good or whatever. Look at what we got. Who in the hell in the Notre Dame fan base is able to sit here and talk about that? Well, McNamara, he isn't that good. We cannot throw passes. It's 2022. Notre Dame can't pass the ball. I am not in a position to judge any other quarterbacks in this moment. That kid was, McNamara, the Irish name, my high school, Bishop McNamara, good Irish Catholic place. Yeah, I cannot sit here and rip any idea about Notre Dame in the future for quarterbacks. We can't throw the ball, and it's 2022. 2022. Notre Dame can't pass the ball. 2022, not 1902. 2022. We have no passing offense. How is this real life? How is it real life? Tell me how this is real life. Somebody, I'm serious. Tell me in what reality I am supposed to sit here at 10:25 a.m. and accept that in 2022, Notre Dame has an offense that does not work and you cannot pass the ball in rhythm, in flow, successfully, repeatedly, nothing. 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 And I'm just supposed to accept this as just, it's where we're at. It's just, you know, we just need to build from here. We need to, you know, this is just what it is. No, it isn't. Why is this where we're at? Like, it's another issue. This is another issue people don't want to talk about, but need to understand. All right? Saying, well, you just got to look at where we're at and then kind of go from there and all that. Like, you know, we just need to focus on where we're at now and how we need to get better. Obviously, that's true. But I push back on people when say all you need to worry about is how to get better. No. No, hell no. I'm not letting you do that. No, you don't get to just say we're not good enough now, but let's only look at what happens from here on. No, that is cheap and I'm not allowing it. All right. There's two questions. One is, yes, how do we get better from here, from this spot we're at that's unacceptable? Obviously, that's the most important priority because you got to try and win the next week. But it isn't all that matters. The other part of this equation is you need to also look at why you are where you are. So it isn't just, we just need to worry about getting better next week. No, you don't. I need you to dissect why you aren't good enough now too, so we can prevent that later. So it isn't just about getting better from here. No, I need to have an autopsy done of exactly why we're in a spot where we're not good enough right now. Notre Dame's offense is a joke. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear it. In the summer, I was actually even going to cut this up. 224, you're coming up next on the line. I just refuse to accept this is Notre Dame's offense. I refuse. And it's like, well, John, you're being a baby. What are you crying about it and all that? I don't care. People need to understand just how bad this offense is and how unacceptable it is to be this way at Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't think people are respecting enough just how bad this is and that it can't be real life. It comes down to that. This isn't real life. Like, when I think of a competent modern offense from where Notre Dame is, I can't even see it. That's how far away it is. I can't even see it. Like you ain't even close. You ain't even close. And here's the other thing. So V1, V2, thanks again for the super chat, man. You donate to the show a lot, and I really appreciate it. I mean, you're going to have to list me as a dependent on your taxes. I mean, for Pete's sake. Yeah. Here's a good one. Get a first down in the first quarter. You guys, this is what I mean. I don't care what string quarterback you're down to. You can't get a first down at home against Cal? Like, no, I refuse to accept that. You have major issues, and I need them fixed, or I need other people in here that are going to fix them. I'm sorry, folks. Like, I just can't believe this is where Notre Dame's at. It's absolutely, it's astounding. The Appalachian State QB threw for 360 yards and 6 touchdowns against NC. If we can't pass on them, just throw the whole season in the trash. Complete rebuild. We're not going to throw all over them. We're going to throw on them a little bit off the run. Like, I know what they're going to do. They're going to try and run the ball, establish that as a way to ease Pine in the game, get him comfortable. And, oh my God, I'm about to erupt from one of these. James, I'm about to erupt, and I think you know what you're doing, but this is going to be bad in a second, James. You're getting me worked up. If we can't pass and throw on them, the season's a rebuild. It's already a rebuild. You were out of contention for anything you cared about 2 weeks into the season. It's already a rebuild. The issue is it's a rebuild, but you can't tank to rebuild. This isn't baseball or the NFL or NBA. There is no benefit to tanking and bottoming out and playing your younger people. And then you get a good pick and then you're on the rise again. No. College football is brutal in that way. College football is uniquely brutal in this way. If you have a really, really bad year, it's going to hurt your recruiting. You have a really, really good year, it's going to help your recruiting. That's just the way it goes, baby. So if we can't pass on them all over today, even if we win, I do not expect us to pass it all over them today. I don't. A little bit. They're going to power run the ball, throw some of those quick passes to open up the sides. And then I think North Carolina is going to try and stop some. And then there's going to be some open guys over the middle. Pine's going to find. That's just my vision. Not a 70-yard deep post. I'm talking a 16-yard crossing route, and then Tyree runs from there. Something like that's what I'm picturing. All right. Where was it? Bro, James, come on, man. Don't do this to me, James. I don't have the hair left. Lower the bar. You're expecting too much. Please tell me this is sarcasm and we're just having a good laugh. We're all buddies here having our brunch on a Saturday morning. Tell me, right, James, before I yell about this, write in and tell me you're being sarcastic. Just do it. Admit it. James, tell me. Tell me you don't mean that. Like, lower the bar. You're expecting too much. I expected Notre Dame to get a first down in the first quarter at home against a bad football program in Cal. Somebody really going to tell me that's too much? Seriously? You keep... There's just no way, man. There's no way. I'm trying not to yell. There's no way. There's no way. Like, how am I expecting too much? This is Notre Dame, and you can't get a first down at home against Cal. That's not expected too much, man. That is basic stuff any team should be able to do. Basic. James, you can't win them all. Tell that to teams that win them all. That's my answer to that. You can't win them all. Well, maybe we can't win them all. People who build their program rights can, though. That's the difference. You're right. We're not going to win them all, but it can be done. People do it all the time. James says it's hard to get a first down. James is sitting there he's looking to see my blood pressure rise and see it in my eyes. That's what he wants. Oh, 224. Walk right through the door. You're on the air.
Hey, John. Good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, man. Hey, I'm excited for football. I don't know if I will be in about 6 or 7 hours, but for now, I'm excited to see Notre Dame play again. I'm open to the idea they might look better this week, and I'm in a decent mood.
Well, that's fantastic. I tell you what, I actually watched a fantastic game last night. It was a high school game that featured two of Notre Dame's, one commit right now, and hopefully one we are definitely going to get. And after watching him last night, I really, really hope we get him. Talking about Christian Gray and Jeremiah Love.
Beautiful.
I'm going to tell you what.
Tell me what you saw. Yeah, tell us what you saw. I love this kind of insight. Was it obvious that they stood out as being different? Tell me about it.
Well, here's the thing. Christian Gray, not so much, because Jeremiah Love, he ran the ball. He ate them up. So there wasn't much throwing because Love was able to just run the ball at will. It was 35 7 early in the third quarter. Jeremiah Love just freight training everybody. And then D. Smith with Kristen Gray, his team, they came back in the second half. They made it respectable. Don't know if it was so much they played better or Jeremiah's defense. Their team kind of just sloughed off in the second half. But extremely excited. Now seeing Jeremiah Love, he's 6'2", 220, I think. He was a man amongst boys out there running the ball, and he loves contact. He hits that hole and is looking for someone to run over, it was just, so I was like, I actually saw a great game already this week. And so whatever happens with Notre Dame today, I saw a good game. But
there you go. And you know what else with Love too? The other thing with Love is when you look into the research, the family's very academically oriented. They are into all of that with the spirituality angle and the academic angle. He's a very good student, and that's a priority. Man, if anything's going to help Notre Dame survive this recruitment in a rough season, a dynamic like that might be an area where it helps Notre Dame. You know, that academics. You know, we might lose dumb games this year, but that Notre Dame degree ain't changing. So maybe that's a factor this year.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. The Notre Dame does, I hate to say this, they do shop down a different aisle, but they're looking for young, upstanding, community-oriented, good-hearted kids. You know, it's not like you look at go 80s, 90s. You know, Miami's, Florida State's. They would just take whatever trash they could get off the street. Didn't matter about academics. Didn't matter about the kind of character that those kids had. You know, look at all the times they were always in the news down there for gang-related stuff and rapes and drugs and this and that. Notre Dame's never had the issues like that. So we do look for special kids and families that do fit the culture of Notre Dame and what Notre Dame as a university and as a community stands for. And Jeremiah Love definitely fits that bill, but he's a phenomenal athlete and will be one hell of an addition come next year.
And that's the kind of guy. That's the kind of guy Notre Dame needs more of. You know what I mean? And that body and coming in that built already, like that's more of what I mean when I say we need guys more ready to physically come in and be closer to being able to play right away at a high level. That's raising your level of recruiting. A guy with that frame and that body and that skill set and that mind, a bright kid, it's perfect. Those are Notre Dame guys. Notre Dame needs to find a way to land more of those guys that have the academics and have the skill. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, the game was live on YouTube last night. I'll see if I can find that, and I will shoot you the link. So if you're interested in watching and seeing how that game was and seeing for yourself, I'll send you that link. That way you can look at it.
Yeah, I saw some clips on Twitter, but I did not watch the whole stream. So I would love to take a look at that.
All right, great. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to stick to my guns. My score prediction from yesterday when I called you, 41-27 right there.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a stroke, and I'm going to have an aneurysm. Notre Dame's first offensive set of plays, because we're going 3 now. I woke up, I had a dream in the middle of the night, and that was what happened. And I literally could hear you screaming.
Good. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. Come on, man. How about a touchdown drive? How about we quiet their crowd, march right down the damn field, running and passing, score right away, and then we're off to the races. There's John being positive for once, everybody.
Well, I would love to say that is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is we're coming out and we're going to have – we got this confidence, right? We got a little bit of confidence rolling from last week, but now it's like
they're going to come out and they're going to try to overplay on that first set of downs.
Mm-hmm.
I think the defense is going to be fine right off the bat because they're just going to get after it. But I think the offense, I think they're just that first set of downs is going to be a 3 and out. They're going to have to take a deep breath in and be like, nope, we're not going to let this shit happen again.
Yep.
And then they're going to come from there. And we're going to see first downs in the first half. We're going to see several of them. But it's that first set of downs that I think we're going to be like, oh, my God, nothing has changed. What the hell is going on? You're going to have a stroke. I'm going to have an aneurysm.
We'll just build it in.
And then
we'll just build it in. I'll have the ambulance in the driveway ahead of time. So I just have to go a short distance. I like how you're building this in. I'll just drink. I'm going to chug the Pepto-Bismol before the game. So I'm all settled. I got everything, I'm all settled as can be. Keep everything in that needs to stay in.
Yeah, it's going to be good though. We're not going to have a perfect game, but it's going to be our best game of the year. Look, Ohio State wasn't a bad game. I mean, that could have turned out to be a lot worse, and we played really well in that game against, arguably the best talent we're going to see this entire season. Right? I mean, Clemson's going to be a good game. USC, I don't even want to talk about them.
I know.
I'm not sold on.
I am not prepared to get mad about them until about November. All right. I got a lot to worry about till I get in to all of those dynamics. I don't even want to think about that yet till I have to either, because I have some very dark thoughts on it. But we'll get there in a few weeks.
If we can play defensively, other than, it's harder to have havoc plays against high quality teams, right? So we didn't really have any havoc plays, no turnovers against Ohio State, but we played all in all solid defense. If we can play that defense, now get some havoc plays thrown in there, get a few thrown in there. Let's get some sacks. Let's get a turnover or two.
Yep.
Right. But we can play offensively the way we did the second half of last week. I think you will see a pretty good, complete game for where we are at now, all things considered.
Well, there you go. And I guess even though we can acknowledge this operation isn't where we want it to be, you have to look at where we're at. And then if you could get some progress made going into the bye and get a win, that's about as good as we could ask for in the dynamic we're in, while acknowledging the big picture isn't where we need it to be. I think that's a pretty good summary. Thanks, man.
I'm like you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Notre Dame. Well, my wife, she thinks half the time when I'm listening to you that she's hearing myself talking.
That poor woman.
Or yelling. She refuses to be in the same room with me when the game is on.
Oh, yeah.
Because I bring her mood down. And I tried telling her, well, it's not me bringing your mood down. It's Notre Dame's bullshit play.
I say that all the time. I say that all the time. I said, I didn't make us play bad, and then I have to react to it. If we just did good, I wouldn't have to do this. It's not my fault.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. They don't understand that. I don't understand. I don't know.
It all makes sense in my head.
It makes a sense in mine. Perfect sense. And I'm sure with everybody who's listening that comes in to watch your show, listen to you, it's obviously because we all think the same. So I don't know. There's a group of us. We're good. We understand each other. We'll be each other's community help.
And you know what else, man? You know what else too? Listen, and I mean this sincerely. And it's a perfect way to wrap up this call. All of us that are struggling and upset and frustrated and have that anxiety and all this, all of us going through these struggles now, if Freeman gets it figured out in a few years and we end up rising and being really good, it's going to mean a lot more to all of us that sat here and worried about it and watched it every play when it wasn't good and didn't just check out and go to the golf course every Saturday for the next couple years. And then if Marcus gets it figured out, come back in the mix. It's going to mean more to the people trying to figure out the tough times now that aren't just showing up when it's good. So I hope that we reap that benefit in the years to come.
I think all of us that have been born and raised Irish fans, whether it's been the last 10 years or like in my case, I'm 47 and I was born and raised 5 minutes from Notre Dame. So Notre Dame through and through, it's going to mean more to all of us no matter what, because since 88, we know we haven't been where we need to be. Came close a couple times, but I do believe Freeman will get us there. I am a believer in Freeman, and I do believe things will get turned around. He's taking his lumps. The team is, but hold the faith, John. We are going to get there today, 41-27. I'd like to go less than 27, too, because I think that defense is – I think they're going to get after it. I think they've got a little bit of taste of raw meat in their mouth from last week. I still see us putting up some points. I see us running all through them and then passing, but keep the faith, John. Don't die on us, buddy.
I'll try
every single week. Bro.
I'll try. I'll try and stay upright. Okay. That's my promise to you. Thanks a lot, man. Enjoy the game. Give me a call after.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Have a good one. Thanks for the call, man. 219, you're coming up next. Kent's here. People were asking where Ken is. Kent, the resident Ohio State fan, is with us, and he's taken. Listen, you guys. Listen, I'm sorry. I got to vouch for Kent here. I really do. Like, Kent's an Ohio State guy, comes here when Notre Dame was building up to play Ohio State. It made sense Kent was here. Then we played Ohio State. Kent was here for the post-game Ohio State stuff, which made perfect sense. And then the Marshall game came, and Kent was here. Kent was here. And then the Cal game, and Kent was here. So Kent shows up every week for all the Notre Dame stuff, takes all kinds of stuff going back and forth with the Notre Dame fans. I got to be honest, Kent, I appreciate you're here. I think half these people in the chat hate you. I personally am glad you're here. It's good for the ecosystem, Notre Dame people, to balance it out. It can't just be all Notre Dame lovers. I need people like Kent to balance it out. And quite frankly, I appreciate his regular viewership. I do. Oh, man. 219, let's wine and dine, baby.
What's going on, John?
What's going on? How are you today? Are we in a good place for this game? You expect us to put it all together or what? Talk it out. Tell me. What are we going to get?
I'm hoping so.
Are we going to be able to run the ball today, JD?
Oh, if everybody else can run on North Carolina, we better be able to run on North Carolina.
Well,
this is the chance for.
That's why I'm worried, man. That's why I'm worried. Everybody's done it, but we haven't been doing it great.
Oh yeah. This probably could be the season right here on this game. I thought it was going to be a couple games. This is a big test to see where we're going to be at and where our mindset is.
It really
in the away game. And I think it'll be pretty crazy atmosphere too.
You know what, man? JD, I got to tell you, I might have underestimated what the environment's going to be like. I think because they are undefeated, they're excited about their young quarterback. I do think for a 2:30 start, it's going to be pretty popping in there. But I would hope Notre Dame can navigate that. What are you expecting from the pass game, JD? We all expect the offensive line to be able to create some running lanes. Do you expect to see much progress made in that area, or is it keep it to a minimum, do enough to win, work on it on the 2 weeks of the bye? How do you see them approaching the pass game today?
I think we go hard with Mayer, and I mean, they got the film now. Everything we did last week was all short passes and nothing long. You have to throw a bomb today, at least one or two. You got to try it, even if it goes an interception. It is what it is. We got to get those safeties back, and because everybody opened the run game too. But we got to let it fly today. Yeah, just the short passes. Yeah, that's okay to get them going. But like the other caller said, that first drive scares me to death. Whenever we get out there and go 3 and out, I hope not. But we got to throw something at them that because we haven't thrown the ball. I don't think we've thrown more than 40-yard pass and completed it yet. Maybe twice the whole year. So I think we got to let it fly.
Yeah, and the thing is, JD, I said this earlier. Thanks for joining, by the way. I said earlier, I would like Pine to take a couple deep shots. Even if you don't hit them, it's important to me that you do it just so that defense has to stay honest and know that you're willing to try it. Otherwise, they can creep up in a 20-yard box and then you're playing in no space. So I kind of need to see them at least present that look to keep North Carolina honest.
Yes. Yeah. We got to bring them something that we haven't showed on film. We just can't keep doing the same stuff and expect it. And then, these teams adjusting and we're not adjusting at halftime. So,
on the defensive side of the ball, let me ask you this. I think we're all pleasantly surprised, shockingly, with the performance of the secondary thus far. Defensive line came to life last week a little bit with some more pressure and disruption. Do you think this is a week that linebacker core gets more action and solid play than what we've been seeing? They've been a little bit disappointing. Are they going to own the perimeter and make some plays today, or are we still going to struggle?
Oh, exactly. I mean, these kids follow social media and everything like that. And what has been all week, everybody has been trashing and talking bad about the linebackers. If they don't use that as motivation and come out and finally put everybody like, hey, so we had a couple bad games, but we're back, we're here, and we're going to be the ones that's going to lead this team, or they're going to be the same way where missed tackles, missed assignments, and act like they don't even, seen a football game before. So linebackers will have to be huge today with the way North Carolina flies up and down the field and how quick they can score. Linebackers are going to have to make tackles and, get the defense in the right spot.
How about this, JD? You have a young quarterback, Drake May, tied for the country right now with 11 passing touchdowns, tied with CJ Stroud. Okay. He's feeling himself. He's throwing it for 1,000,000 yards, putting up points on all these teams. What do you think of Notre Dame catching him a little overconfident, feeling himself a little too much, and Notre Dame goes in there and says, our defense is different than what you played the first 3 weeks. Welcome to college football. And they put him in his place. How likely is that scenario versus this young guy looks at Notre Dame, shrugs it off, and shreds us today? What do you think's more likely between those two? We get the best of him, or the young guy shows us up?
I think we actually get the best of him because he hasn't played anybody that good yet. And then number two, it's a home game. The atmosphere is going to be crazy. He knows he's going against a primetime team. It's going to be on primetime television. He's going to have the pressure of that, and the crowd's going to be in it, and he's just going to be too much for him because a young guy, sometimes it takes a while for them to understand that atmosphere and getting excited and all that and taking it all in. If I'm the defense, I'm blitzing. I am putting pressure on him, and I'm going to make a young quarterback beat my team, because if that's what happens, that's what's going to be. But I'm not going to let him get comfortable. I'm not letting him get in a rhythm. I'm going to blitz. I'm going to, send different, packages at him. But, yeah, I'm coming after him.
Yeah, and listen, that's what you need to do against a young quarterback. Pressure him, confuse him, bring different people, different plays, delays, look like you're coming and then you don't. The best thing you could do as a defense against a young quarterback is make the guy think, speed up his clock so he doesn't have the time he had the last 3 weeks to find these receivers. So I need to see a lot of that disruption from the defensive front. And you know what else, man? I think that secondary that we've been pretty happy about is going to get tested this week. And I think they're ready to make some plays. I don't know why, but I have a feeling. I want to see those guys bat some balls down, pick this kid off today. We need some big plays to support that offense we know needs help.
Exactly. I mean, this is the defense has to get a turnover sooner or later. We can't keep going all these games without getting any turnovers. It's going to happen one game, and let's just make it this game, and we can all be able to sleep easier tonight.
JD, let me ask this. What's your score range? Like when you're picturing this from the Notre Dame end and the North Carolina end, I see a lot of people having this like low 30s, high 20s, or do you think both teams are going to score more? Do you have Notre Dame busting out in a way we're not expecting today? Where's your ballpark here score-wise?
I think if we win the game, it's in the low 20s. If we lose, it's high 30s, 40s. That means we're going back and forth,
Yep.
and then they made one last play on us.
Yep. Nope.
That's what I kind of see it as.
That actually makes perfect sense, because then also following your logic, if we're on the winning end of it and the score is lower, that also means we're probably running the ball a lot and eating a lot of clock, which is going to lower your score total anyways. So I like that. I see that angle.
Yes, exactly. That's that. Yep.
I need turnovers today, man. Give me a couple. It'd make me feel a lot better. You can't go through the first month of the season not turning anybody over, even though you thought you had a couple last week. That you can't. Make a couple impact plays. Help out your offense. They need it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, just to punch a ball out, rip it from a running back, make an extra little play, that doesn't make a difference if you're a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, anybody can do that. That's just will and wanting it more than the other team. And that's what the defense has to do. Has to want it more.
For sure, man. So what are you going to do for the game, JD? Stress out all day, have a couple drinks, pace around? What's your move this afternoon?
Just like I'm doing right now on the phone with you, I'm already pacing. So it's already started this morning, and it ain't going to stop until the game's over with.
I know.
I'll still go after the game, no matter what the outcome.
JD, you make me nervous because I see a lot of you and me, the way you get worked up and you can't sit down and you got to be moving, and I'm always fidgeting. I can't sit still. But you know what, man? I opened the show with saying, even though we're kind of frustrated with where we're at, every day you wake up and there's a Notre Dame game is exciting in its own way. There's only 12 of them a year, one or two more if you're lucky. And they're special days. And so I'm trying to look at it that way and be positive and be excited. And I just hope that this doesn't all change in 6 or 7 hours. But for now, I'm excited to see my team play today, and I'm hoping they do well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those fans where if we lose a game, it takes me to about Tuesday till I finally get over it. And then Wednesday and Thursday, I get real excited for the next game, and I'm all fired up. I'm still Notre Dame no matter win or loss. We can go 0-12. I'm still going to be Notre Dame. I'm still going to wear my leprechaun outfit. It doesn't make a difference. But emotionally, it takes me to about Tuesday. And after I get to that, then I'm all fired up again, ready for the next game, moving on, to the next thing. And real quick, when I got on this topic, it's very important to us as fans to really support these boys. Because if you've seen these commitments that are, decommitting from us, and they're going to schools with this NIL deal and all this stuff for money, that just shows you what these Notre Dame players that are coming here, it's not really about the money. It's about wanting to be part of fans. No matter what the record is this year, to continue to support these boys. Don't go on social media bashing people, bashing the team and all that. This is when they need us the most. So that's why I'm always going to be a Notre Dame fan, because the type of players that they bring in, and that's the type of kids I want to support and want to believe in, and, continue to always cheer for them and be all that. But just with seeing all these decommitments and they're going this way for money and things like that, that's why it's so important to support the ones that came to Notre Dame and they're going to come to Notre Dame. And why, as a fan base, we just need to keep supporting them and being there for them.
Yep, that's a really good point, man. And those guys do see the social media, good and bad. And so everybody needs to do a better job on that probably. So JD, thanks a lot, man. I hope to see you in a couple more weeks. Maybe if you make it back to a game, I'll be back.
Sounds good. Appreciate you, John, as always. And go Irish. And congratulations on your new stuff as well, too.
Can't
wait to see how it all goes.
Thanks a lot, man. And tell the kids and Carrie I said hi, okay? You guys have a good day.
I will. Thanks, brother.
Have a good one. You guys, be nice to each other in the chat here. You guys, I like all of you for different reasons. John loves me, Ken. He tolerates you for the visits because he needs visitors. Don't you get that? We all do. I mean, I told you, I like the mix of having somebody from another team or a troll in the chat. It livens it up. It can't just be all Notre Dame people. I also don't want everybody to just hate everybody. That's what I'm for with everything that goes on. Oh, all right, folks. 2 hours in the books, 9 to 11. The morning show was great. The callers were great. Everybody donating was great. Everybody, thanks a lot for the congratulations on the new job with USA Today. I'm excited to see where that goes. I can't wait to get started. I'm thrilled to be able to do print. There's a lot of people I know only think all I can do is hit record and yell on here. I'm ready to write some articles for USA Today to make people think and realize that it's more than just me yelling. Can't wait for that challenge. In the meantime, I'm going to go upstairs and drink alcohol for breakfast and then watch Notre Dame play. Everybody have a good one, and then we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being here. There is no show without you guys. Thanks so much. Enjoy the football this weekend. See ya.